Episode 179. We're here. We're in it. Albert's back. I went on a hiatus. So shout out cameraman Cam and Ethan. Was that the only episode that was done without me in the interim?
No. So we did the one with me, Cam, and Elsa and Ty, and then we did one with Alessandro, and then we did the last 2 weeks. So
Were those
this
ones that
might
were
be
filmed
like,
at camps? Got
yeah,
it.
at camps. Yeah. So, I think this will be like, this is like, if we didn't record this week, it would have been 5 episodes without you, I think. So,
Whoa. Really?
yeah. This would be number 5, this one. So I think it was 4 without you.
Holy cow. All right. Didn't know that. Well, hey guys, I'm back. Sorry. And
Listen, the numbers are up, AJ. The numbers are
they
up.
were.
Yeah, I mean we're a little over 1,000 per episode, so I think we did a pretty decent job holding down the fort, so to say.
Cool. And did you guys talk about dirt bikes?
A little bit. Me, obviously, Cam and I are, we're really that mid-pack C-class type of rider,
Okay, so you
right?
talked about
We had a
slow
couple
dirt
questions.
bikes, slow moving dirt bikes.
Pretty much.
Okay.
You did send in that one clip where I was talking about the YZ125, and it blew up. So that was reassuring for me because I kind of felt uncomfortable talking about it, and then the post did really well, and not many people were making fun of me, so it made me feel a little bit better about myself. And if anybody's wondering, yeah, the YZ125 is the best
Well, so here's the
125
thing.
of all time.
This is what is all. This is the only thing you have to do if you want to have a podcast of your own for anybody out there, or Ethan, to give you confidence when you're recording on our podcast. You just got to say stuff.
Yeah, it's confidence.
You just not even. It's just unembarrassability, unembarrassability, you just say something.
be
You don't even have
unembarrassable.
to like die on the sword by it. But if it's just YZ125 is the best, all right, I'm sticking to it. At least for this episode, I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah, well, listen,
it'll start a conversation, and that's all it's really meant to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I kind of told Cam my standpoint on it beforehand, so when he gave me his rebuttal, he kind of snowballed the conversation.
Yeah,
And,
which is great. Also, to have two people disagreeing. On
Yeah,
the
well, that was
podcast.
kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, listen, if you say something that I don't really know about, I'm just gonna kind of go along with it. And he's like, no, you can't do that.
Right.
So we got into a pretty good flow of it, and we had a couple posts do pretty well, a couple long form clips do pretty decent. So yeah, it's been cool for me to be on here and be able to be in front of the camera a little bit and see what it's like to be on the other side of it, because obviously I've been behind the camera for so long. So I'm excited to be here again. This is very cool.
So you want my answer on the best 125?
I do. Yeah, I'd be curious.
Kawasaki.
Yeah, if they still made them, that probably would be my answer.
Absolutely
but,
not. No, Honda and Kawasaki, I've ridden those 125s before. I'm sorry, Honda
Yeah.
and Kawasaki 125 people have not had good experience on those bikes. I do love love me a good old YZ 125.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had one recently, and I loved it. And the only reason I gave any crap to the newer Austrian bikes with the EFI is they're not great yet. Like, my cousin went from pulling every hole shot in a Super Mini to getting the TC 125, the first generation of the EFI, and it would fall flat on its face. I mean, they still do. He had to put an ECU in it for it to be comparable to a stock YZ 125, right? So I'm standing firm on that, and a lot of the comments actually reinforced that too, which was cool. Even Brian Latimer, he had a pretty cool, funny comment about it. So I'm sticking to my guns. We had a podcast question; they wanted reinforcement on it, and we're giving it.
Wow. Yeah, and I've had good luck with the KTMs too. At least I've owned,
older generations.
Well, I've
though.
owned an older generation 125, and I raced in Supercross. It ran really well. I have not owned a newer generation one. I owned the 300, which was fuel injected.
Yeah.
That bike ran great. But even with those, I've heard the fuel injection being a little wonky with those bikes. I've heard a lot of things going wrong, but I have not experienced it firsthand, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I have. The only I guess vicariously through my cousin. He had 2 of them, and he had to buy an ECU from somewhere, which like I said, made it pretty much comparable to what a 125 should be, right? So I don't know. That's my experience. I could be wrong, but I mean, I was just at RCSX, the amateur Supercross. that 125 class, the guys winning that class were on Yamahas.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Chase Dashio, the kid that I was telling you about, he went 1-1 in both of his classes on a YZ
really?
125.
The
And I'm
pistachio
pretty sure,
went one
like,
one.
yeah, kid's a riffer
Wow.
too. Like, funny story. So, I'm watching the first day of the amateur races, and I see Steven and his dad like walking trackside. I'm like right behind the fence, so I call Steven over, like just super random. I didn't know they were there. They didn't know I was there. We're talking, and couple, Tuesday or sorry, Monday, end of day Monday. The kid they pit next to, Chase Dashio, ends up winning both of his classes, and it's just very cool because like he Steven's dad told me, he's like, he didn't come into this race thinking he was going to win anything, but just being around Steven and seeing how happy he was and his type of energy kind of just motivated him to go out there and do some work. And he checked out in both of his classes. So just a pretty cool, like wholesome moment. I got to spend the day with them on
And that
Tuesday,
was
which is quite cool
schoolboy or
too.
what?
So I think it was Schoolboy 2 and then 125, not the C 125C, but like the other one. I can't
Like
remember
a
off the
youth,
top of my
like a
head.
125, 12 to 15 class maybe or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and the kid's great. I mean, super awesome kid, wholesome, down to earth. He trains at Futures MX, which is like right outside of Dade City. So I just got to give him a shout out because he's awesome. 15-year-old kid, and he's doing
Shout
great.
out
So
pistachio.
um,
What about
yeah.
Coach Ty? Coach Ty didn't have enough in the
Um,
tank. Mental
no,
issues.
I don't know. I mean, it's a
Does
lot.
he need the Moto Academy mindset workshop?
I think he might need a little Moto Academy mindset workshop,
Okay.
maybe just a little bit. He did start out great every moto. Like he was in position to get done what he needed to get done, but he from my perspective, he couldn't keep it together. I love Ty to death, but that's just how I saw it. And obviously, I'd like to call him in maybe next week or something and have him phone in and give his perspective. But it's a learning lesson at the end of the day. Unfortunately, we didn't get done what we wanted to, but he's got a good game plan for what he can do for the rest of the year to make that happen. So I think moving forward, and I don't want to speak for him, he's got to do some Loretta's now is what the next step is. So he's got a couple area qualifiers this
Oh
month.
yeah. So
Obviously regionals from
yeah.
there.
So at Loretta's, I think he's explained this to me, but I keep forgetting. If you get what you get,
I think it's top 10 in pro sport.
top 10 in pro
Either the
sport, and
but-
you just get your points.
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
like, pretty sure you can either get it at Loretta's, Minios, Ponca, or the RCSX. And I don't know how many you need. I think you might need not a lot, maybe 2 or 3, 4. I might be wrong. Don't quote me, but it looks like Loretta's is going to be the next attempt. So he's got 2 area qualifiers he's going to before we start camps up again. Obviously, he's got to fit in some regionals, and then get ready for Loretta's. But
Well, so here's where he's going to face the AJ problem, right? There's not many people out there unless they're working complete full-time jobs or something that can relate. Well, I guess a lot of the average Joes can relate, but the people he's racing against are training full-time.
Yeah, well, and that was what it was at RCSX. I mean, the kids in the 250 Pro Sport and the Open Pro Sport they all had purple plates. They did SMX Next the night before. He was Vincent Way, like those type of kids, right? So, top 10, we're basically like amateur factory riders, right?
And he's
so
training full time, but he's missing time. So it's hard to, let's say, even if he's training full time, but he misses one day a week, it's a lot. You're missing one day a week. And it's hard to mentally compete also if you know that you're missing one day a week. And that's where my struggle was that for the last 7 years of my pro career. So you just have to, it's big mental. It's a big mental thing. There's no question about it. The good news is if he could just get those darn points, I really believe that he could still be easily a night show Supercross guy knocking on the door of main events while being, underprepared or less prepared than a lot of the other people around him. I was able to do that, and I don't think it's because I don't have some special talent. It was just I learned certain skill sets. I knew how to hit whoops. Once you had certain parts of the track down, it was just like you could remain calm in situations. And I think you've been there for Ty before on like a qualifier for outdoors where people don't know how to stay calm to just do one lap to qualify, right? So it's just mindset.
No, exactly. No, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I've got faith in him. I think he'll get to it eventually. It's just you gotta like I said it in a previous episode. I wouldn't call it a failure, but you gotta just learn from these lessons when things fall short and figure out how to come correct for the next time, right? So obviously not the way we wanted it to happen, but you got to learn from it and just keep pushing forward. And if there's one thing that kid knows how to do, it's pick himself up and keep going. So,
yeah, well, there's no rush. There's no rush. I think I was talking to Ty about this, actually. I was like, how old are you again? How old is he? 23.
We'll both be 24 this year, yeah.
And I said, you haven't even started Pro Supercross yet, right? Like, you have 17 more years. If you want to look at it that way, I know a lot of people would be like, that's crazy talk. That's not crazy talk. He could do it until he's 40 if he really wanted to. And that's 17 years. It's a crazy amount of time. And if you look at it from that lens, then you can be patient in situations where things don't go exactly your way, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. So just out of curiosity, because you've been gone for just about a month on the podcast, what have you been up to?
So last time you guys heard from me on a podcast would have been before California camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Honestly, probably right around the Florida camp, honestly, because I don't think we recorded an episode in between that gap. No, we definitely didn't. It would have been before Florida.
Holy moly.
So it's been over a month.
Holy moly. Okay, so we said goodbye to our awesome dog, Doug, which kind of set off a chain of events. Basically, he got sick out of nowhere. He had cancer, and it just sort of like, there was no signs. He seemed like a young puppy until he didn't. And so I flew home early from the Arizona camp. We had to kind of quickly wrap our heads around what is going on here, and we made the very hard but I think right decision, and that we had a vet come to our house, and we said goodbye at our house like 2 days maybe after I got home from Arizona camp. So I left that one early on like Tuesday, right after Tuesday.
Yep.
Got Tuesday a red eye Tuesday night, got home Wednesday. I think we said bye and Saturday morning. And we didn't want to be here. So that was right before California. It was a week before California camp. So Allie and I were like, let's grab Millie and pack our bags and just go to California a week early. And so that's what we did. We went to Laguna Beach and stayed there for, 4 or 5 nights. And yeah, it was good. It was just there's just the timing of, holy cow. Sorry, that just blew somebody's ears out. My apologies. Just the timing of when Bear got sick, and it was just a bunch of snow. I'm talking a lot of snow, like over a foot deep of snow. Everything was frozen. It just sort of felt eerie. And especially like the sunroom was his room, and you turn the heat off and shut the door, and the next morning his water bowl was frozen and he's not in there, and it's like, all right, this is a bit much. So I think I'm able to handle it a bit differently than Allie. I think I have a different perspective maybe on faith and just not understanding, nobody knows, but a faith on what happens after you die. And I just don't think Allie's there yet. So she's struggling quite a bit, still struggling quite a bit. So we left the house, went to California, went to Laguna Beach, which we'd never been to Laguna Beach. Shout out. We stayed at a hotel called the Montage. It was right on the cliffs, had its own private beach area, and beautiful. Weather was perfect. Spent a week there kind of disconnecting, and then went straight into a week at Verona. In California, which was good in the sense that it was a challenge because it
Yeah.
rained like I don't think anybody's ever seen it rain in Southern California.
No,
Every
we got
single freaking day, it was just absolutely relentless. Everybody warned us that it was, there was even talk of should we switch the week, and it's way too many moving parts, way too many people signed up for this 5-day event. Like we cannot move it.
yeah. There's no
And I'm
way.
like, it'll be
It's
fine.
impossible.
It's Southern California, it'll be fine. Saying rain, it'll be fine. And we get through Monday, and then Monday night. What was it? Yeah, it was the first day, right? So
Yeah, Monday into Tuesday.
deeper
Yeah.
into Monday, like the last session, it just lets loose, and like monsoon type rain, like coming down the mountain, mudslide, and I'm just like, holy crap! But everyone had such a good time and stayed so positive through Monday. I think it was Tuesday we woke up, get to the track, tents. One of our big expensive event tents had completely caved in and broke and snapped, and thankfully it didn't break more stuff underneath it. But
it was honestly the only catastrophic event to happen that week, to be honest with you.
yeah, yep.
Really. I mean,
But
that
then
was
it
the
rained
biggest
more, and then
loss.
it rained more, and it was.
Yeah.
But somehow, it was still like the track was very rideable all week long, and the kids
Yeah.
track, which we used as our corner track all week, was perfect all week long.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. The amount of rain that we had, it didn't make any sense how we were still out there doing what we were doing. And it's not like we were not mud riding at all. It wasn't really until
No.
Friday where everyone's like, all right, I'm good on the main track. We'll just ride the other track. Because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
what happened, and this was a saving grace. Now, California tracks might not be able to take the rain that well because it's so dry there. But what they do well is they're so hard packed because it is so dry, and maybe the water table's so low, and Verona Oaks is on the side of basically it's like on a sloped part of the valley, right? So the whole first half of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much all of this crazy amount of rain was just running off of the track. So it never really got soft until Thursday later in the evening, and then Friday it did finally start to kind of seep in enough to where it became more closer to mud riding. But we got so freaking lucky.
We did.
And it was a really good test for us too, to our first time in like having to make complete adjustments on the fly of what does an edited schedule of the day look like. And we did it, honestly, flawlessly.
Pretty seamlessly. Yeah. I mean, even getting I always get nervous from like the customer's point of view, like how they'll perceive it, but nobody had a bad attitude about it. I mean, I still see comments coming in, like when we post clips from some of the really rainy, muddy days, like people were loving it. They're commenting that they loved it. Like it was positive reinforcement, at least for me to see that, like, if we can face that on camp 23 of 26 for this year, then we really have absolutely nothing to worry about. So
yeah, think of anything,
I'm
it
just
did
glad we
the
got it out
opposite
of the way.
effect in that it like made people more positive because maybe the expectations lowered for themselves or for what the whole thing would be, and we were just able to deliver, and they were like, whoa, all right, this was still super productive. I still had a ton of fun. Like, yeah, so that was a good week as well. And I'm sure it was a tough week for Allie because she was with Millie during the days, and I would at least spend time with them at night. But then after that week ended, she's like, I'm not ready to go home yet. So the last day at Verona, I'm laying there in bed at her Airbnb, and I just decided to cancel the flight home to Connecticut and booked a one-way flight to Hawaii. And because in my head, I'm like, well, we're halfway there, and might as well go that direction, go the opposite way of home. And thankfully we did that, because that same Monday that we were supposed to fly home, we got hit with another foot or foot and a half of snow.
Yeah. That was my coming home present. I was absolutely gutted. It was horrible.
Yeah, so it was like, all right, well, that
my
was a good
car
decision.
couldn't make it up the driveway. I went to get a coffee that morning, AJ, after the snow was done, and I go to pull back in my driveway, and I got stuck in the ditch. Couldn't get my car up the driveway till the next morning.
Oh, really?
It's horrible.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I was really disappointed. That was the first time the Civic ever let me down in my life, and I don't know how to feel about it still.
I wonder what's worse in the snow, your Honda Civic or my two-wheel drive Toyota Tundra.
My car for sure
Yeah.
because it's so light. Yeah, I mean to be fair, like I could probably use new tires right
The
now, so
tundra is
that would
so
probably
bad
helped.
in the snow. You do not want to
Yeah,
touch that thing in the snow. It's scary. Like it's not planted at all. It just slides
yeah.
around like absolute.
At least I I'm no car guy, but I think maybe having a little more weight would help. Maybe I don't know. But my car's like a go kart, so I mean the wind gets going and my car's getting pushed, so it's really sketchy. It's really sketchy to drive. So I normally just keep it inside when it
Shout
snows
out
or
to all the, and what
even
is
when
that?
it's heavy rain.
Front wheel drive?
Yeah, front
What
wheel
would a
drive.
Toyota
Yeah.
Tundra be? Rear wheel drive?
Mm,
Probably.
no, I don't. Maybe I don't
Gotta
know.
be.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I
it's
have no
gotta be.
idea.
But maybe
Like I
that's
said, I'm
why it
not a
feels
car
sketchy,
guy.
is because when you get the wheel spin, you're instead of
Yeah.
pushing, both are kind of sketchy in the snow. You don't want to be
Yeah.
pushing and washing the front, and you don't want to be doing a donut either. But yeah, I do not drive that thing in the snow. So we went the opposite
So
direction and went to Hawaii. We went to Kauai, which is one of the smaller islands furthest west. It's like one of the
yeah,
least developed, I guess you could call it.
yeah,
Not least developed, but least like commercialized.
yeah,
And we stayed at the one hotel, which is on the North Shore. It was beautiful. What we didn't realize is that that's the island, especially this time of year, that just rains basically every day.
yeah,
It was where Jurassic Park was filmed, which is cool. It feels
yep.
like
Very cool.
very much feels like you're in Jurassic Park.
That's
So
super
we
cool.
stayed there for, I don't know, 4 days, and then flew. All this was on a whim. We didn't know what we were going to do. And then I booked a one-way flight from there to Oahu and to Honolulu, and then drove to the North Shore of Oahu and stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Turtle Bay, which I loved more. I think Allie liked the one hotel more. But
Okay.
yeah, beautiful. Millie loved all of the luau's that they would have at night with the fire shows. She was obsessed with it. The beach there, the way, like, just the lifestyle of all the locals would at sunrise be surfing, at sunset be surfing.
Yep.
It was just like, this is cool.
My aunt's down there right now. Mawahi? Is that what you just said? I
Maui.
think that's where she is.
So
Maybe
you've
something.
got
She's
Kauai,
she's there now.
Oahu,
Okay.
Hawaii, which I think is just the big island, right? And then
Yeah.
Maui would be the four main ones.
Okay. She's somewhere right now. I don't know. She was telling me last night. I forget already, but she's down there for probably another week. So I think she's day 5, going to day 6. So she'll be there for another week or so. So
It's cool. It's
jealous
just
of you guys.
super laid back, slow lifestyle. People know.
Yeah.
It's not like on the mainland where everyone is kind of feels like they're grinding, just trying to get the next paycheck or
Yeah.
save money for God knows what. It just does not feel like that at all there. It's like
Yeah.
people are focused on just enjoying the community and enjoying the weather and being one with nature. And it just, yeah. It was really cool for Millie because we would go to like the local, when we travel like that, we might stay in a 5-star hotel, but we try to not just be on the resort because then you miss
Yeah.
everything. So we love to go out and just immerse ourselves and just to see what it's like. And so every day we would go at a different time to see what it was like at different times. We'd go to the local like park, like to the playscape,
Yeah.
and get to meet local parents and their kids and just see. It was killer. There was one guy that I ran into him 3 days in a row, and turned out like we got deeper and deeper into like business conversations based on like, I'm like, this guy's got to be somebody, or there's something going. I just was like getting a feeling, and it turns out he had sold his business for $400 million, and now
Oh, no way.
his property butts up against somewhere where Mark Zuckerberg is on the island in Kauai. And what I found out too is Mark Zuckerberg is buying up like large pieces of Kauai, like buying them from land trusts, and kind of not cool, like buying a lot of land. But there's like a large concentration of very, very wealthy people on that island for some reason. And this dude was one of them. And his kid, he had 2 kids that were there. They were so cool. It felt like they were like little Tarzans. just swinging around. The way they would jump across that playscape, their feet were really wide because, well, the dad ended up telling me the older son that was 7 never even tried a pair of shoes on until he was like 5. Had never had a pair of shoes on his feet until he was 5 years old. Yeah, so like super, I don't even know what you call it. Like is that like
Just down to earth?
Yeah, like I was gonna say hippie, but it's really, I mean, it's kind of how Allie and I would like to be, sort of.
Yeah.
So, and the mission as we were there was, and where we travel anywhere now when we're in Laguna, same thing. It's trying to figure out where can we see ourselves to be able to sort of, build this property that we envision that can be a retreat where people can come to us and we can have guest houses. And I've said it a few times, I think, where initially the vision was I want this big community. Now it's like, all right, I really want something a little bit more private, but still where people can be a part of it and come be a part of like a retreat setting. And so that's what we're looking for. Hawaii is the closest we've found to it. The only big thing there is like it's so far. It's so freaking
from
far.
the East Coast, that's like what, a 16-hour flight or something like that?
From California it was like 6 hours. So it was pretty doable, but it would have to be coordinated so well with my travel schedule if I was there and then just having to hit some West Coast, doable. But as soon as you're starting to fly from there to East Coast, forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I mean that's a whole half a day. I mean, really, you lose probably a day and a half.
Yeah, I mean, each time we went there and then came back, and then we were there. I wanted to stay for longer. Like I'm looking at my calendar, and it just at a glance, I'm like, okay, I don't have anything until the 18th, 19th of March. We've got time. Let's just stay. She's like, no, I think I'm ready to go home. So I booked a flight back home. On the flight back home, I'm looking at my calendar. And I'm going, oh, hang on a second. I have class in Ohio tomorrow. And I look over to Allie. I'm like, Allie, you're not going to believe this. We gotta stop in Ohio. And she's like, AJ, you're joking. I'm like, no, we got to stop. So thank God she had made me book the flight when I did. And thank God the timing worked, because then we landed in LAX and then just rerouted to Ohio. And then spent 2 days there for class at a track called Route 62, which shout out to everybody there. Day 1 was completely sold out. Day 2, we had about maybe 23, 25 riders. Indoor track in Ohio. We stayed in Columbus. The owner named Jimmy does a great job. I mean, I took like a little tour around this property. He has so many tracks. Beautiful look.
He's got a couple outdoors, right?
Yeah, I think he has a couple. I think he might even have 4 out there. Like it looks like a compound the way this place is spread out. And then the indoor track, he must have once upon a time bought this building, opened it up as an indoor track, and then decided to invest in a bigger building where he now has the track in. And so you have one indoor space that's just for pitting, like for people to park their bikes. He's got a massive heater heating it. It's like, there's TV screens up all over. There's like, it's very, very cool. Very cool. And the track layout is perfect. It's exactly what I would, and I'm very picky when it comes to like wanting certain types of obstacles. The way he built that track is exactly how I would build an indoor track in a space that, I don't know, it's probably a 40-second lap time.
I know, yeah, not to sound like a nerd, but somebody built that track on MX bikes, so I'm pretty familiar with the layout. It's fun in the game.
Do you jump the table to table?
I do everything. Come on, I got the YZ 450. If there's one thing I'm pro at, it's the video game.
So there's one rhythm lane I'm sure nobody's jumped it ever, but I felt like if I had spun a few more laps, I could have done it. You could go outside and 3 in, which nobody at class was doing. Kind of a big 3 in. And then there was like a table to single, a little straightaway, and then a table. I think you go 3 and then launch the table all the way over the table to get out of the rhythm. It would be pretty big. Well, this is the plan. Now that we've gone there, it looks like we're going to lock in a 5-day camp there in 2027.
I say, is it campable?
It's very campable. So we're going to camp it up there in 2027. It looks like, and so I'll have to
Very
jump
cool.
that in 2027. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean,
It
you
was
gotta
blast.
if you're gonna do anything like that, you gotta have the cameras there for sure because that's a good clip right there. Um,
Yeah, so
so
that's what I've been up to.
this is a random question, but obviously we're at camp number 3. We didn't ride the YZ in Verona. We had some issues in Moto Land, and the YZ 450 got a beating in Florida. Are you thinking about getting a new bike anytime soon?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Well, we've got a. I would say, what month are we in? March.
March, yeah, beginning of
Yeah,
March.
probably in April. I would
Okay.
get a new bike, and as of now, I would love to just go get a Ducati, but we got to figure that out. We're starting to add bikes to the fleet for rentals,
Yeah,
which is basically the Yamaha that was kind of supposed to be mine at first is now going to be a
it's
rental
a
bike
rental.
because it just
Yep.
got ridden way too much. So we've
Yep.
got, and then I bought a KX 250F, I bought a Cowie
Yep.
450, which those are pristine, just kind of sitting there waiting to be turned on for the rental fleet. We
Yep.
can rent the Starks. So we just got to figure out like where's the demand on which types of bikes and
I think if you were to ask me, we need to get a 110 and like a 140. I think
yeah,
that would be our next
I would
two
think.
steps. And selfishly, maybe 2 110s, so that maybe one of your filmers could ride around. I don't know.
Well, we have to see what's going to be nice is Airway will be the first camp this year where we don't have the trailer loaded to the freaking
Full.
absolute brim.
Yeah.
Because it would
So
just be
we'll be
one
able to
camp
gauge.
worth. So
Yeah.
to kind of give us an idea, but we do have to plan the trailer because once summer comes around, we're going to have back to back to back
Yeah.
kind of action going on. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think I got the perfect size setup for what we needed, but barely.
Barely.
It's
Yeah.
amazing
Well, I mean,
how you
so
fill that 32-foot trailer like that.
where we pitted or who we pitted with at the Daytona amateur race. I have to send you pictures of it. I think I might have before. That would be the ideal setup. I mean, it's like a small camper that tows it with a garage in the back, but then it's also like a vendor truck. That thing would be sweet. It's got 2 levels to it, so like all the bikes could stay up top. You could have all the merch in the bottom floor and like totes. Like that'd be the next. That's the next evolution. I'll have to get some pictures of it. Chaz is helping run it, so he's got some nice pictures of the inside and stuff.
Is that
But
person from New
I
York?
think, yeah, he's local to me.
Okay.
Um, we would probably want a nicer one. No offense, but yeah.
Yeah. So
So
we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Well, do we want to talk Supercross? Because I did watch it last night. I actually watched it
you know
really
how
intently.
my jaw hit the floor when I got that text message from you at like 8:45,
Uh-huh.
and you gave me like a bunch of bullet points. I like couldn't believe it. I was like, first of all, AJ's up this late. Second of all, he's giving me notes. This is awesome. I kind of watched it, but I'm at the point in the year where it's kind of getting a little stale for me. Maybe just because I watch every weekend.
Okay.
So I'm curious to hear your
Yeah, it
opinion.
was the exact opposite for me. I was big into it. I don't know.
Okay.
So I guess a few things. One, I don't know why. Just being a racer, when I watch the races, if it looks like it's a fun track, I like watching the race
You're
more.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of doesn't really make sense as a viewer, but Indy, just to let the kids know, is where I got 4th. So it's like, and I've
so it's
done
full-
well
yeah.
there historically. So there's something about the track just gets super crazy rutted, and people don't know what the heck is going on once it gets that rutted. It's just so fun. It's like the speeds get really slow. It's more so just technicality of can you get stuff clean and hit your rhythms without messing stuff up. And then also the whoops become really hard to skim in those situations. So it's like if you are good at skimming whoops, massive advantage there. So that's kind of one of those tracks.
Kenny made a really great pass on Cooper, and I think it was maybe the second race.
Made him look like a 50 rider.
He blew his doors off. Yeah. So this is from a C-class point of view. Is there any like major difference between a track that's closer to a minute lap time versus a 40 second lap time? Like, does that make a difference for you as a professional?
Well, more so what makes a bigger difference is how rutted the track is, because then what happens is it's less about, okay, is this a 50-second lap time versus 55? It's how spread out does the field get in the first 3 minutes. When the track is crazy rutted, and if you get a bad start, let's say you're buried in 15th place, you could be 35 seconds behind the leader after a lap and a half.
Yeah.
Just because of bottlenecking traffic.
I did notice the lapper situation became an issue. I think it was maybe in the first race, the first 450 race, Tomac came from like above top 10, worked his way up to second, and then him and Hunter came into 2 lappers, and Hunter ended up getting second in that moto. So that is a good point. I did notice that. So,
well, then you have the short-ish track. You have a super rutted track, which will cause the really big spread out at the beginning. And then when people, and I can attest to this, when you're getting lapped and you're just trying to stay in a rut, forget about it. Especially if you're a guy like Vince Freezy that doesn't, care about anybody else in the track but himself, you're really going to have an issue. Who else did something and I was like, oh man. And I've been hearing kind of the rumor mill a little bit of Prado cross jumping and just being kind of a bit of a roadblock. I hadn't seen anything yet because I guess I just haven't really been paying attention until last night. He went inside, or no, maybe he didn't go inside. He went double. So he missed the 3 out of the table. He went double, table over single, knew that I think it was Hunter maybe that was behind him, or Justin, because somebody was coming behind him, and then just chops him to the left and then just keeps moving left off the next triple. And I was like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Now, do you think that's an experience thing, or do you think that's intentional?
No, I think watching that, I'm like, that's intentional, and that's not cool. Yeah, that stuff's not cool. Okay. I would light a guy up.
Olive Oil is going to be upset. That's this guy right there.
Yeah, so just not cool. I mean, in Supercross, like, it's just dangerous enough as is. You can't be doing
do stuff like that.
Yeah. So, so I saw that. I was like, And then there was 2 major lapper incidents. So I think we're going to review them on footage. Is this true?
That is true. So I'll get the Hunter one pulled up here. So I'll let this run. Bear with me, guys. Recording and trying to run the computer.
And before you even play it, by the way, absolute shout out to Hunter and Tomac for saving both of those incidents. I mean, insane saves on both ends. Like, both of those, I watched both of those probably 10 times, and I was like, I always put myself in their shoes and like, what would I have done? For them to remain that composed and stay in position and like not bail, or Tomac's was maybe even a little bit worse. Hunter's was a harsher impact, but Tomac's was more of like, that really should have taken the bike out from under him type of thing.
Yeah.
Amazing that both those guys saved that.
I got to say, I got to spend the day with Hunter last Tuesday. Not spend the day with him, but I got ample time with him. You always hear like how great these kind of guys are, but to be there and experience it in person, it's just positive reinforcement. It was one of the coolest days in the world. Hunter is one of a kind, like super cool guy. So I just got to give him his props, because seeing his work ethic in person was very cool. So just had to say that.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
I don't want to go into too much detail, but like it was cool to see.
Couple other shout outs actually before you play this. So do you have the Roxon incident too, or no?
I do.
Okay. Yeah. And then just random disconnected shout outs here. Simonson, I feel like I used to maybe I raced with Simonson a couple of years. I can't really place him. I think he's tall. Maybe does he have curly hair? If you showed me a picture of his face, sure. I would recognize him. If it's who I'm thinking of, he's a really nice kid. Looked fantastic in one of the races. He was in like, I don't know, first or second or third.
Devin?
Yeah. And looked great in the whoops. Yep. Technique looked killer. he doesn't
You see him?
really look that familiar. He does have longer curly hair, but I feel like I've raced with him before, and I don't remember him being looking nearly as good as he looked in that race. I mean, not just speed wise, forget about speed, but just body
You might have
body
raced
on
him.
bike
He's
looked
my
great.
age, so he's a bit young.
Okay. So shout out to him. Shout out to Cole Davies. Cole Davies is obviously going to be the only person that, not the only, but he's going to be the heaviest threat to Jet in the
Yeah,
future. I mean, the dude is,
he's technically sound. I mean, watching that kid go through the whoops, like I was saying last night, he is by far the fastest 250 rider in the whoops right now, and I think it's not even close.
not even close. Not even close. He's yeah. He might be like, that might be the most whip speed I've ever seen from a 250 rider ever. And Jet has had some really good whip speed. Christian Craig has had some really
Yeah,
good whip speed, but stupid, and
yeah,
really just has this same exact kind of mindset as Jet. Really kind of lighthearted and just floating
yep,
and free. And you can tell from his podium interviews, like, yeah, he's there to do one thing. He doesn't take it too seriously, and
yep,
he's ridiculously good. And he's better at that age than Jet was at that age, just based on when I look at technique, because Jet at that age had some janky footwork issues going on that I think kind of hurt him a bit,
yep,
where Cole has better footwork and he's got all of the other things that Jet had. So
yep.
yeah, he's very advanced. I mean, so advanced that he makes the other guys in that class look like they're not even close. I was
Well, it's great. It's great to see him get back to like where he was last year too after that injury, right? Like it took him, this is the third round for East Coast. Like he's finally, I think, gotten back to his stride. So I think it's going to be pretty difficult for a lot of these guys to keep up for the rest of the season. And I'm excited to see him in outdoors too. Knock on wood, he stays healthy this year, because I feel like he's a lot better outdoors than he might be in the Supercross. So that'll be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, that's where Jet's crazy. Is like you see Jet in a Supercross setting, you're like, that guy's amazing, and then you see Jet on a crazy deep
Hit a
sand
braking bump
track,
over a.
and you're like, oh, he's even better doing this. Where
Yeah, well,
I haven't seen
it's
that from Davies yet. Again, I haven't been paying much attention, but
yeah.
that's where it's like, all right, that's something special, because having that Supercross specific skill set is one thing, but
I mean, to see how Jet will take a braking bump and like jump over a single or something in outdoors, like it's just that's unreal. You know what I mean? Mitchell posted a clip the other day of him doing something similar to that at Verona, and he's like, "Man, I feel like Jet," but like he's just able to do that on the fly at the highest level. It's nuts.
all right, so let's watch this clip. This is Hunter
Yep.
in so, and what was interesting is Carmichael kind of put the blame only on Thompson there.
Yeah.
I actually, believe it or not, I do feel like that was more lack of awareness on Hunter's end, because both of
Hunter
those
tucked
guys
into
were
the back of him
clearly
now.
going single to the inside, right?
Yeah.
And then what I like is Hunter doubled into that next rhythm, absolutely doing a Superman off the back of the bike. Can you turn it down, by the way? I don't know you had any volume here.
Yeah.
It is
Sorry.
so loud in my ear.
Sorry.
There we go. Yeah, the fact that I mean, the fact that he stayed on the bike and even didn't even tip over right there as he's trying to turn right, hanging off the back. Pretty amazing. And the fact that he didn't like break any fingers or anything weird like that. I mean, super, super impressive. And then doubles in here and just an absolute Superman. Pretty good. But I will say, like, he definitely shouldn't have tripled that. He definitely shouldn't have tripled that. Maybe there was the first couple lappers he had caught up to and he didn't know that inside line was the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, ridiculous save. Ridiculous save.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I would have done exactly what Cole did there. I would have just kept going. 100%.
Yeah, and
All right, so this
that's like
is
a guy
the
that Cole Thompson is solid too. You know, it's like
yeah,
not solid as in a good rider, although he is solid as in he's used to being slammed by people. He races arena cross, I think. Like, and for
yeah,
him to just be
yeah.
punted into the into the fence like that. All right, so now this is the Tomac. Was this in the same race as well? I think it was.
Um,
I think they were both in
y-
the second moto.
yeah, yeah, yep. But this was, I think, a little bit after that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now that one I'm not going to put on Tomac at all. Tomac was minding his own business, staying to the left, maybe just not trusting. You know, Vince Freezy would be a good idea, but that was almost more impressive because
He saw it coming.
he knew it was coming. It's right here. You could tell. Look, he almost does a knack. I mean, the only thing that really saved him there is how tacky the dirt was, maybe, and he was able to land with that aggressive on the brakes to just stop and not have his front wheel taken out. And the fact that Freezy thankfully landed clean and was able to just get that next jump and kind of get out of his way. Yeah, that doesn't look like much maybe to the average viewer, but that should have absolutely been a crash. Especially because even just the way Tomac took off, he was kind of jumping from left to right a little bit, while Freezy was
Yep.
going from right to left, if you really watch it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tomac might have even arguably cross jumped as much or more than Freezy did. That was a wicked good save. And that's a tough type of section too, because when you go on off and you land in a pocket, that's where your average Joe suspension does not work at all.
Yeah.
It just deflects. So that's where the factory bikes have the biggest advantage. Honestly, if any part of that track is like those weird, sharp little pockets like that, that factory suspension, there's something about it where it doesn't blow through or deflect, and you can kind of push through that those sharp G outs. Yeah, super impressive. And one thing that helps Tomac too is he stays both Tomac and Hunter in their situations. He stays over the front, still in that attack position. Most people would start to happen, and then they would like completely it would unravel. They'd come off the back, they'd throw the bike, whatever the heck.
What do you think would have happened there if he came off the back?
Well, he would have probably got launched over the bars and sideways on the next jump. Right, which most people would have been hanging off the back here. Both feet probably would have come off, and then they would have ended up probably off the left in the cement or the wood off to the left after that double, guaranteed. Yeah, super, super impressive. But that track did just look fun. Like, I don't know. I like when it gets that rutted.
I'm gonna have to load that one up on MX Bikes later.
But I will say, all right, so when I watch these races, I watch them from that lens of does the track look fun? I do also watch it from the lens of could I see myself having interest in doing this again? Like that's always the conversation in my head as I'm watching. And as I watched throughout the night, my answer kept changing from yes to no, and then yes again, and then no again. And I think the common denominator was I wouldn't ever want to do 450 just because if you look at the track difference in the 450 races compared to the 250, oh my God, the track is annihilated by the time the 450 guys have to get out there. I don't know if like the average viewer, like pay attention to that. That 450 track, holy crap. It's not a track that you would want to mess with at all. And it creates more dangerous situations. You didn't see really any of that, you know, those near cross jumps or lapper situation. You didn't see any of that in the 250s because the track was pretty fresh.
They were able to hold their line. Yeah. I will say too, I mean, obviously I know you're pretty good at whoops. Like when we were watching the pro race at Daytona, we were stuck in front of the whoops the whole time.
Yep.
My gosh, nobody knows how to hit the whoops. It was bad. It was bad.
Even at a pro race, you watch qualifying and like people really make those things look difficult, which they are.
Yeah,
but
they are 100%. They were big whoops in Daytona, but like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, if you can learn them. I mean, look at Cole Davies. He's like literally makes the other guys look as if they have no idea know what they're doing in the whoops. Well, you can see it too, like Pierce Brown coming back up to the pack flying by guys in the whoops. Like they're just absolutely standing still. You can gain a second there every lap like it's nothing. And not only is like the time to be made up important, but it becomes such a passing opportunity. It just, if you were no better than anybody else the whole rest of the track, you just tee them up, get set up before the whoops, and just blow by them.
You saw it last night. Go back if you didn't watch the race last night, guys. Go back, watch the extended highlights, and you'll see multiple passes made in the whoops, especially in the 450 class and the 250 class. But yeah, I can.
And one thing you would have picked up on too is, so this is something that I actually practiced with Jet and Hunter when I was at their house, which I actually showed Jet and Hunter this, and I don't know where I learned it from. I might have just made it up. When I first started racing pro, nobody jumped the whoops. It was not a thing. Some people jumped the whoops in arena cross, but in supercross, that never was a thing. Yeah. As more people started to jump them, the first whoop gets really rutted as people start jumping because they're dropping in and after the setup whoop, and they're jumping off the first whoop. A lot of people do. And so what we started practicing at Jet and Hunters is you can skim by missing the first real whoop altogether. You can kind of almost jump into a skim. That is sort of a technique that you could have used this weekend in Indianapolis. I remember the last time I raced Indianapolis in 2023, I did the same thing. It was coming out of a right-hander, super annihilated the first whoop. I would just jump over it, and I would start my skim after that. The other alternative, this is what you saw Davies doing, you saw Roxon doing this, who Roxon was killing the whoops, is you would just have to go all the way right or all the way left. And you could start your skim basically like foot peg on tough blocks. And then deeper into the whip section, you could come away from the tough blocks a little bit because it was less important to be that tight. But just whatever you had to do in the first 3 whoops to miss the crappy ones is
interesting. Yeah, I personally I like to skip the first whoop. That's my it's the way I go about it.
Well, a lot of the jumpers now jump off the little setup one over the first real whoop, which I think like Webb does that a lot. Justin Cooper will do that too. Also, shout out Justin Cooper, looked freaking fantastic. He's one as well that like Jet used to have a lot of duck foot going on. So did Justin Cooper. Justin's feet look a lot tighter now. I will say Justin's feet look the most loose in the whoops. Which sort of
say that now.
What?
You see where my mouse is?
Oh, is that his toes out?
It's just funny.
Yeah. So
that's bad
he
timing.
still definitely needs to fix them in certain spots, but where it causes him the most issues, that's why he can't skim the whoops to the level that he would want to, is because he doesn't have the ankle flex. He's a little shorter, and he's not using all of that ankle suspension that he could be. If he's riding with his feet like that, right? But he looked fantastic. And what Justin Cooper is really good at is he has really good upper body stabilization. So he feels confident in really rutted tracks because his head doesn't bob and weave left and right.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the Kenny. This is the Kenny.
Yeah, this was one clip that I saw, and I was like, this made my answer go to no on do I want to race again.
Oh.
And he knew it, right? But like as soon as he had to go scrub double, he's like, well, this is not going to be good. And do we have an update on AP? Because I think he got extremely, extremely lucky.
I have not heard anything, but if I had to guess, the way he's walking off here, it looks like he might have, like you see him shaking his hand.
Yeah.
I think he caught a subframe to the hand.
Let's see.
Oh, he caught the rear wheel right to his
go another
his
frame.
Arm.
Well, does he get hit again? Kind of on the like he gets hit on the way down and then on the way back up.
Look,
gosh, I mean, he got so lucky overall, but definitely like situations like that's what I said with the Hunter crash. You never know. Oh man. Usually your hand gets caught up in stuff like that. The amount of time I've broken fingers and really messed up my knuckles and my hand and my wrists just on crashes like that.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I mean, where I just had to pause, Kenny's rear wheel literally landed right in front of his crotch.
Oh, and that was good heads up because like Aaron let go, kind of. Watch this Aaron in this one. this is kind of a worse angle. Watch it from the back angle one more time, and just watch Aaron, because he knows it's coming, and then he lets go of the bike.
And
He lets go of the bike
almost immediately as he lands.
Yeah, like I don't even know if he landed with his hands on the bar. Let's watch that again.
As soon as he lands,
I don't know if that was him getting ripped off the bike or if he just knew where he was to let go, but that couldn't have gone any better considering he was underneath another person's bike on the takeoff of the jump. Yeah, I mean, like he went from being the person doing the landing on to getting landed on, but then shot out underneath it. Like that was a miracle, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that could have
been. Yeah, and I honestly, I watched that and I go, I want no part of that. I want no part of that. And there wasn't any ruts there. That was just racing incident, first lap. Yeah. You know, one mistake leads to that. So that's the type of stuff where I will say really turns me off from racing. And so then I watch it and part of me goes, why do I need to race anyway? And then part of me watches the 250 class and I'm like, well, because it looks really fun just to go out there and ride that track. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, if it's really fun, why can't I just have my own cool track and change it a lot and invite fast people to come to my place and we could film it. We could do little mini races and pay out money. Like we could kind of just do our own. That's a little safer.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Yeah. I mean, I will say, hey, listen, I sold my bike after we got back from Verona, so I'm pretty much retired right now. Like, we can enjoy retirement together if you want. I'd be totally
right
cool
off into the sunset in retirement. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, shout out. Hopefully those guys are okay. I know Roxon is, but hopefully AP is okay. Which main was that?
Let's see if I can get an update. That was, I think, the second race.
I don't think he was in the third race.
No, he wasn't. Let me see. Give me like 2 seconds here. I'll be able to have a better answer. They're not putting the thing back up. Yeah, that had to have been the second race. Let me see. Why
does this?
I'm not seeing any updates.
Nothing in his profile?
No, I'm going to go to his Instagram real quick. Let's see. He posted something. Unfortunately out. Will undergo further evaluations on pain in his upper body. So that was the last post 12 hours ago on his Instagram. Let's see if he's got anything on his story. Oh, Racer X posted something. Let's see. Looks to escape serious injury collision while ending. My day's going all right. Well, we didn't have. Fortunately, although having a weekend off, we'll keep work. Yeah, so it looks like he's good, and I think maybe there's no race next weekend, so he'll be back.
In that freeze frame that you're on right now, by the way, I'm just now realizing that they have different style of tough blocks along the side of the jumps. See how they're like the...
Yeah, the triangles.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That shows how like
it's interesting.
Little I know what's going on. That would make a huge difference. To be able to land that close and not snag a foot peg.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, you can pretty much land right next to it, not...
Because in the past, if you just got even a little bit too close to one, it would just suck you straight in.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah. Very cool. All right, well, let's get into some podcast questions. Right, we got quite a few. First one up is from this dude, Joseph Albert Catanzaro. He goes, I have a question. How many pro riders does it take to adjust clutch tension? Do you know anything about that?
Well, at least two. Yeah, we were doing, so Adam Sansorello came to our 5-day camp in California. So shout out AC. Thank you for spending the time with us. He's always done a great job at Moto Academy classes. He's extremely personable. He's very articulate in how to explain something and simplify it. And yeah, he's a very good coach, which isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
But we were doing at lunch, one of the days we had 3 riders there. It was basically a semi-private lesson just with AC and myself. Super cool for these guys. And one of the people on a Honda, I think his name was Chris, on a Honda 250F just had 0 play. 0. Yeah. And so if you have 0 play in your clutch, you're going to fry your clutch. So AC and I are just sitting there trying to get tension into this thing. and we could not
Yeah.
figure it out. Of course, Ethan's right there with the camera, and I'm like, how many pros does it take? Oh, hang on.
Oh no.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear
Hang
you
on,
now.
Allie's
You're
calling
back.
me. Let me just call her for 2 seconds.
Well, welcome to the ad break of this episode. I'd like to shout out my mom and my dad. They're great. If you'd like to shout out your mom and dad, drop a comment down below and let us know why you're shouting them out. Back to the episode.
All right, I'm back. Good timing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just did a little ad break.
Perfect. Yep. So 2 pros at least to adjust tension. Good question though, Joseph Albert Catanzaro. Great question.
Yeah, that was good. When I posted that on Instagram and the guy commented, "I only see one pro #AC." Your reply back had me cracking up. Obviously, your initials are AC too, so that had me dying.
Got him. I still got it.
Yeah, you still got it. That was too
it.
funny. So next up, this is a question from Mike and Andrew.
Shout out.
Are there any pros or cons to riding with faster riders? For example, trying to keep pace through a few sections to get the feel of it.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the negatives to riding with faster riders is you get pulled into a pace that is just not where you should be yet.
Yep.
But there's a lot of pros in that it can open your eyes to what you should be doing in a certain section. You might have your idea of, okay, this is what I'm doing here. And then all it takes is just following somebody really quickly. And you're like, oh, duh. All right, just move over. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So yes, and for me, that used to help a ton because I would think I would feel really fast. And then sometimes it took for somebody else that was a high level person to show up and ride that track. And then I would realize all of the places I was just being complacent and it wasn't actually being that fast. There is a lot to be said for that. Yeah. For sure. Which is why I think camps are cool too, because in our camps, you've got the different groups. So you always have that, you're always around people basically right there at your skill level. And then if you do bump up, boom, now you're into a group where, maybe you can look to those orange guys or those red guys as like, where are they carrying momentum that I'm not?
Yep. So actually a good caveat question to that from Austin Ba. He goes, if I ride with someone who has terrible technique and shows zero interest in fixing it, are they actually counterproductive to ride with?
No, I don't think so. No, because if as long as you have an awareness. Now, if you guys were kind of 2 peas in a pod and reinforcing the fact that we can just be sloppy and not fix technique, then yes, that's not good. But Austin, if you're focused on the right things and you just so happen to ride with somebody that doesn't give a crap about doing the right things and yet they've got speed, which is very possible, then use them for their speed, right? So follow lines or just, do a moto with them, because I've done that many times where I was a more technically focused guy, but yet the guys I was riding with were maybe a little bit faster and maybe they're doing it sloppy, but it didn't matter to me. Yeah, that's a good question.
So obviously we're getting into the beginning of the season for a lot of people. Loretta's area qualifiers are starting to happen. So we got a question from Kyle17. He goes, hey guys, I'm going to Loretta's qualifier here in 2 weeks. And I was wondering what I should do mentally and physically to prepare for this race.
Kyle17, good question. So an area qualifier, is that what he said?
Yeah, correct.
So I think honestly, a lot of people are even kind of caught off guard or surprised at the areas, how fast they can be. Sometimes areas aren't that fast, but I think
I think it depends on location.
Definitely.
Like you go to an area qualifier near me, you're probably going to do just all right.
Okay. As in they're pretty easy?
Yeah, I would say from my experience. I've never raced one, but I've filmed a bunch of them and it's a cakewalk from what I can see.
Yeah, and sometimes they're very fast. I know for sure that when people get to regionals, usually it's a rude awakening of, oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, there's this many fast guys. It's same thing. Anybody first time experience going to mini O's or something, and they're like, "Oh my god, whoa!" And you had to qualify to get into the race. Once you got there, I didn't know that. And so there's usually a lot of those kind of rude awakening type of moments, but you can avoid that by just releasing your expectation of your only goal is to just go there and try to learn from the track, learn from where can you improve, learn from others. Like you're going to be surrounded by a lot of fast guys. Where are they gaining time on me? So just really, really, really shift that perspective going into it of I'm here to learn. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. As soon as you get distracted and pulled away from that of just like discouragement of, I'm getting smoked right now. Well, what am I learning? All right. 10 guys are beating me. Great. That's more people to learn from. 20 guys are beating me. Cool.
No, exactly.
Double even more people to learn from. I got 20 people to learn from now. Yeah. And that's simple in concept, but it's tough because when you go to a race, your ego wants to do well, obviously. Right.
Yeah. But I don't think Kyle 17 has an ego problem.
I don't think so either.
He's a really great rider. So Kyle, if you're listening to this, just do what you're doing. In my opinion, I think you'll kill it.
Yep. And good question. Cause that question, I think more relevant for other people than even you. Cause Ethan, you're right. Like Kyle 17's got his head on straight for sure.
Yeah. I'm 100%. Sweet. So I will do two more before we cap this off. We got a question from Shake and Blake. He goes, so awesome to see you at Route 62, AJ. I hope to see you too soon, Ethan. Shout out Blake. I miss you, buddy.
Yeah, shout out.
He goes, my family and I are making our plans for the racing season. What do you think the best ratio of time that I should spend practicing versus time I should spend racing?
Well, practice. I mean, pick a couple of the fun, cool race events, and really enjoy them. And other than that, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The racing just needs to be strictly for the fun and strictly for the learning. As soon as it's anything more than that, then you're not there for the right reasons. And again, simple in concept, but it's so easy to get wrapped up in it.
That's another kid though that's got his head on his shoulders real tight, especially for being a young guy too. Like I think obviously practice, but Blake, just if there's anything I think you know how to do, it's have fun. So and
Blake did a good job at Route 62. Blake in the past has had moments where he's gotten frustrated with himself really honestly pretty easily, which used to happen to me too. And I saw much less of that at Route 62 in also a situation where it could have been like you had every reason to be that way. He gets there, his bike won't start. Then after his bike start, now the idle is like hung up and it's like basically sticking wide open. Actually, at one point it did get stuck wide open and he had to like, whatever he did a great job of reacting to it and not crashing. And then his exhaust falls off one of the motos. His mom goes, we're never coming to the track without dad ever again. And, but so Blake did a very good job through all of that of, remaining calm, which is good. And in the past, rewind a year ago, he wouldn't have been that way. So shout out Shake and Blake for that. That's the type of mentality that you need to be good at this sport. You have to be resilient and resilient being like, you can get kind of knocked off center and then shout out Kling Kong would describe it as this, like get knocked off center and then you just come right back. This happened. All right back.
Well, whatever.
Yep. You know who's very good at that? Right. Eli Tomac.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like even in the interviews, the way you hear him talk about lappers or even after Daytona and he chips his tooth, like, I would have been pissed about that, but
oh my gosh,
you could tell he was at first, but he just kind of right back to laser focus and the resilience. He's just right back to in alignment with where he was headed. And it just,
It's funny you say that. I just saw I'm seeing two clips circulate from the Gypsy Tales podcast. One from Cooper Webb's perspective, talking about how you can't get into Tomac's head, like it's impossible. And then one from Tomac's perspective, that the only person to ever get in his head in a race was actually Cooper Webb. His like one of his first races in the 450 class, like he kept cross jumping Tomac. Tomac, it's the clip where Tomac's on the cowie and he like took him out. So I think it's just funny to say that because I've seen the clip like probably 5 times this week.
And those were back in the days. That was Tomac Cowie days. Tomac had issues. He would have arm pump issues, I'm pretty sure, right? Because he would just like all of a sudden you get a 9th and you're like, what happened there? And there was some mental stuff going on there. There's no question. I think it was I think arm pump played a factor, but who knows? We
Yeah.
probably won't know until he retires, and we probably still won't know. But now, when you watch Tomac, it just seems pretty unshakable. So does, I mean, Hunter is a freaking beast, and Hunter, the way he rides too, is so good at close contact racing.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude will stay in a corner even if somebody's driving in the inside, even if they make contact. Like he made one pass. It might have been on Tomac. It was on somebody. I was like, whoo. Like, he is not afraid to just get so close to guys in a safe way. But yeah, he's just not to be messed with. Who do you have for the championship? If you had to put money on Tomac or Hunter, who would you choose?
It's honestly hard to say. I mean, my heart wants to be with Tomac, but the way that Hunter's been riding these past couple of weeks, it's hard to say either way. I think the way it's going right now, it's going to be neck and neck till the end.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a 1 point difference between the two of them right now. And to be honest with you, as much as I love Tomac, like, I think it would be really cool to see Hunter win this year. So
It'd be cool for
I don't know.
both. I mean, it really would.
I mean, I would love to see Tomac just keep knocking off more wins just so we can get closer to MC. But yeah, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that, to be honest.
Me
with you.
too. Me too. And that's like, Hunter was basically one of my better friends in the sport. Although Tomac, Tomac seems like a guy I would want to be friends with. I don't know why.
Yeah, 100%.
Just seems
100%.
really just chill.
He is. He 100%
Like
is. He's down to earth.
Yeah, just
for
you
sure.
know,
You could see
works
it.
at home on the ranch. Can't be bothered with any drama. Yeah, it just seems like a cool dude, honestly. All right, so what else happens Supercross wise? Anything? Nah.
Nothing notable.
Really
I will say, not to rewind a week in the past. I've been to a handful of Supercross races now. Daytona might be my least favorite.
Oh,
that is the worst race to watch.
Yeah, you can't
It's so
see a thing.
bad. No, I was so mad. And then, like, we got, shout out to Insta360. They hooked us up with some tickets, which we were like trackside, which was awesome. But like, you're stuck at one spot, so I have to film a video for them. So I'm like having to walk around and get different shots. And then I finally realized, like, oh, I have general admission seats too. Oh my goodness, the general admission might be the worst thing on the world. You're on either end of the track, so you still can't see anything, and then everybody's just taking up seats with their coolers, and you still can't sit down.
On the grandstand side?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, it's no good. So if I go back to Daytona, I'm buying a seat in like the middle of the stadium.
Still, there's just not. You can't really see. It's because
you still
never
won't see
been to
anything,
Daytona. Obviously, the way they do the track, it's the length of. It like goes the length of
pretty much one straight.
Yeah, like a straightaway of the NASCAR track. So it just, no matter where the heck you sit, you basically only just see one section as they come by.
They're ants. Yeah, they're ants.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've never been to a NASCAR stadium before. All the pits are set up in like a small portion of the infield of the track.
Yeah.
It was actually like mind blowing to think. And then I did I calculated all my steps for the 3 days. I did 75,000 steps in 2.5-3 days. Yeah. It was nuts.
Were they still pitted in
crazy.
The garages?
Yes,
Okay.
the pros were pitted in the garages, which, by the way, that was also probably the worst pit scenario ever. It's so mobbed. Like, you literally can't walk anywhere. Not that I'm a guy that wants to go and get autographs, but I want to do like a lap or two and just check out, see what's going on, say hi to some people I know. I walked like through the main area, walked around the back, and then I never went back in. It was so bad.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I'm enjoying watching them from the TV, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So, at least for now.
I don't blame you.
Right. We did it. We did it, guys. I'm back. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you, Ethan. Episode, already forgot. One what?
179.
179. We're going to have the big 200 coming up here soon.
It'll closer to the end of the year. We'll hit 200. So we'll have to do something cool for that one.
I'm sick again, if you can't tell.
I woke up sick this morning, so we're in it together.
Yep. All right. That was fun.
I'm going to go hit the sauna.
Hour 20. Thanks, Moto Academy. Toodles.